Bleach. As we've determined, the savior of Shonen Jump is here with more Kagurabachi.
I don't know if our previous conversation video will be out before this video, but
I would assume it would be. TBH.
Well, they watch the VOD or,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But if you haven't seen the video, if the video hasn't come out yet, we determined that Kagurabachi will save Shonen Jump in the future. So let's discuss what this newest chapter, what the two newest chapters.
Yeah, we've got two chapters
the future
to go
of this.
over, technically.
We're finally weekly. I'm so excited. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're just going to be the Kagurabachi show for a bit.
Kagurabachi cast!
Potterabachi. So this one...
Tales of Debauchery. Damn, that doesn't work as well as I thought it would.
There's something there, though.
Debauchery and Bachi. I feel like
yes.
Kagura Debauchery is the name of our
yeah.
podcast now.
What's up, my debauchy?
Kagura's...
I hope you're out there.
I think Kagura Debauchery is fine.
Kagura Debauchery
let's leave it at
really
that.
good. I like that. Let's do that.
Let's take the win and step away.
No,
that's the name of our abridged series.
no, that's the AD tag on Twitter.
Okay.
Where you can see Mr. Shiba getting into some really funny shit.
Just look at where he teleports.
If he teleports onto a stick shift, I'm just wondering, is it going to be inside?
I'm liking this a lot more than I thought I would, Chihiro.
Hang on, we've got to hide the enchanted blade somewhere.
Ooh, I hope it fits.
Do you think that's where Hakury's storage room is kept?
We'll definitely find somebody's back door
for that.
Yeah. That's the secret entrance, Chihiro.
Great start.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
So hot off the heels of the okay, wait, hold on. The
You got it.
Who can say it? I think I've got it.
Grant has it. You ready? Go.
I already said it. Oops.
Okay. Because it's Tyler, do you remember the name of the auction?
Don't tell him.
Oh, Rokai Senchu or something like that?
Okay, Roku Senchu is your guess?
Rokai Senchu?
Rokai Senchu? I'm pretty sure it was the Rakuza Ichi or something like that.
You just looked at chat.
No.
You just looked at chat.
I literally didn't even see it in there.
Literally. Don't give him hints. Never.
I guess you guys didn't hear me because I did literally just say it when Grant brought it up. But...
Well, maybe
Grant
I was
looked at the
saying,
recording
maybe I was talking over you and then realized as I was going to say,
Grant was being a rude host and cutting people off.
Yeah, no, I was doing a great job of hosting, controlling everything, being in charge, and setting the scene for this chapter 45 of Kagurabachi. We're hot off the heels of the Rakuza Ichi.
The
biggest auction, Rakusenjin, and it was an intense auction like you've never seen.
We got a brand new arc now. I'm excited. We're looking forward to seeing where it's going. And now that we're 2 chapters in, it seems like we've got a good idea, right?
I'm digging it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was talking to Kieran a little bit about this before we started recording, but like this is like probably the fastest paced manga I've ever read.
Yeah.
I thought that we were going to be here in the headquarters a little bit longer.
For sure. I don't want to pop that just yet, but I'm noticing that too. Like it has not stopped its pacing. We have Chihiro waking up from the wacky fight. We see that him and
I love that everyone is gaming around him.
Hakury?
I think that's it.
Hakury, yes.
Okay, yeah.
I remember seeing a comment saying our memory was terrible, but they also said, like, don't worry too much about it. You guys are still pretty cool and handsome. So
I'm glad they put that last part at the end. I would feel really bad if they didn't.
I'm pretty sure they said that. I don't think it was just my making it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good at least. We have really nice people in the comments that really like the things that we say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It does help that we're always correct in everything that we say. And that, did you know that our opinions are objective fact?
Yeah, they have to rewrite the Twitter after our streams.
They're waking up from the hospital, got some fun little fighting gaming going on. I'm happy to see the Char's here. I was worried that we would have a Charless arc. I don't know what role she is going to play in this manga as a whole, but I am just so won over with that little dynamic of her and Mr. Shiba and Chihiro that I want her to be there.
Yeah, I don't want her to sit out of every arc. Like, I know, like I mentioned before, it's like, well, they're responsible adults. They're not going to put her into danger, and she'd be annoying if she brought herself into danger. So it's hard to say exactly what she's going to do, but I do want her to have a more prominent role than the last arc. I think it's fine to go an arc without her, but I miss her. I want her to be part of things.
Yeah, and I mean,
really
she's
don't
also a
see
healer.
where she's gonna fit in to the foreseeable future.
But she's a healer. I think that'll be really
I
valuable.
feel like she's just the party healer. She will be every time we have a fight that we're really messed up after, and it's just like, oh geez, that character's never gonna move again. She'll step in and be like, actually, they'll be fine.
We gotta go.
We gotta get them back into action real quick.
Our tower will heal us.
Here, eat my leg.
That's how it works.
And the we got a fun little follow-up from her saying that Inazuma says thank you. I get a nice little bow on the little
Mr.
kid.
Inazuma lives.
Kid saving his sister? Mom?
Reunited with his sister, I think.
I want to say sister. And then we got kind of just a little back and forth follow-up stuff with them going, hey, you said you wanted to join the police. Well, how are we doing that? What's the plan? Because Mr. Shiba's like, are you sure you want to join the cops? There's a lot of things going on there. Do we really want to do that? We could maybe do something different.
Yep.
And them talking about how they could they're like, okay, well, these guys are pretty smart, so they're probably already thinking that we will do something like the thing that we are talking about. So maybe we should have the no you planned ready in case they try to one up this, which I appreciate because that's the thing that you don't see characters talk about. You just get a flashback later after it happened and goes,
actually, we planned for this already.
Oh, he'll probably think that we're going to do this, so I'm going to do this. And I knew you thought I was going to do this, so I did that instead. I like them talking about it up front, going like, hey, here's a thing that we could do to like maybe try to get ahead of them.
And as far as writing goes, they cover this all in very simple terms, which I appreciate. It's all very straightforward and easy to digest. If I recall, like just my feeling for reading it, it was always just like, oh, this is really okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. And the chapter's over. Okay, cool.
Yeah, easy read almost through all of Kagurabachi. I feel like the language is very plain. The translation is at least reads very well. I haven't really seen other things to know if it's super duper accurate or any discrepancies or whatever, but I've really enjoyed the writing so far. It's been very, like you said, it's very straightforward, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. And so the planning for the whole chapter is basically just Hakuri, because of his powers, he can teleport anything to his storeroom so long as it carries an energy signature of something that's already logged to it, right?
Yes.
So, because of that, if he can log the wielders of the swords, he can just straight up steal the swords from under the bad guy's feet because they have the same energy signature as the wielder.
Yeah, because like the deadlock right now is the cops have the wielders and the gangs have the swords, basically.
Yeah, and that's unsustainable. Everyone agrees.
Yeah. And it's like, if one side gets what the other has, it's over. And so we've got Hakuri now, who's basically just our backdoor cheat code of well, if the swords still have the energy of the keeper, I can just touch the keeper, and now the swords will move to us.
Yeah.
Seems like a foolproof plan. And I like this because, like, I don't know if this will be a trend or if I'm reading this into it, but I feel like having Char opened us up to being able to, like, put Chihiro in more dangerous places. And now, because, like, she can heal him when things get dire. Now we've got Hakuri, who can bring things to us from dangerous places, basically, and like kind of pull things in. So I feel like the orphans we're adopting are all kind of like adding to our arsenal to let Chihiro like get his vengeance better, basically.
That's one thing I wanted to talk about too. With this whole like squad we're assembling, a lot of the powers are very strong. Like they're classically very powerful, difficult to write conflict for powers. I heal everything. I can teleport wherever. Oh, we can go into my little pocket dimension and just kind of null this consequence. Like, this is all very strong shit. Like, people in the Jujutsu fandom, like, hypothesized that Todo had to be, like, shelved for every big fight because how can you write around, I can teleport you in an object? Like, that is so broken. Like, it's so strong. And so we're getting a super duper powered healer, a super duper powered teleporter, a crazy living arsenal guy, dude who is seemingly unkillable and has like knowledge or at least ever-ending shonen protagonist power to do everything. So that, in contrast to the threat that needs to be present to counteract how strong our protagonists are has me very interested. So I was like, okay, we have a really good squad. What the fuck is going to challenge this?
Plus, I think it's another clear point of just how quick the manga's moving, because it's just like, we need to boost up our heroes very quickly so that they can play on a world stage kind of conflict. Like, this is, okay, clearly these guys are like some of the strongest. I don't know, I feel like the world could expand beyond the was it Hishaku? But, I mean, as far as that goes, it just feels like they are the biggest threat that we could perceive of at this moment. So we need to get them on their level as quick as possible, and then it's working out pretty well.
Yeah, and that's all pretty set up easily. I like this little flash of we already have character designs for the other holders. Like,
here's who's coming in the arc that we're probably gonna see.
This blind guy, this girl, this little wandering dude, and this
somebody all bandaged up.
Chef.
Yeah, some sushi chef guy. They're a fun, diverse cast. Very Bleach here and in the next chapter. I'm seeing a lot of Bleach character designs.
I can see that, yeah.
Something that really sticks out is that they all seem more bright and free than the Sinach's wielder.
Yes. They don't seem as depressed or dead, at least in these little shots, so I don't know.
Yeah, the Shinuchi guy seemed like he was like decaying in his weird prison, but at least all the character designs here, they just seem like people.
Yeah,
he was also the wielder of like the scariest sword or whatever.
Yeah,
so there's
like,
like,
he also looked like
some
they had him
layers to that.
sealed.
It doesn't even think the Shinuchi guy is just like some weirdo who's half dead and can barely like. It's just some crazy in some way or another.
He didn't want to give up the sword. We had to take it.
I have a feeling he will be the last wielder we get to know. I'm betting that he'll be like the.
He definitely does seem like the most interesting.
We don't talk to him anymore. We locked him away, and he's just he's bad news. That sword really messed him up, and just like it's just not good.
Yeah, they have a lot of already early setup for here. He was not touched on at all in these next two chapters, so I'm with you that I hope he is the last one we see. Just like the brief little thing of him possessing the guy at the auction, and then like 50 chapters down the line, we'll get, remember when that happened all the way back in chapter 30?
Yeah.
Here he is. Like that.
Yeah, as far
like
as
that's the vibe I get.
As far as the story structure goes, it makes sense. Like, okay, we need to set up, if there's one sword we got to set up before we meet all the wielders, it's the Shinuchi, because that one's going to play the biggest role.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
But yeah, we get to see all the fun little locations that they're all stored at with their little, please select your stage.
Yeah,
which will be, I'm like, okay, we got a cool little shrine, a hot spring set up, looks pretty. Another shrine.
Hot spring is in very good condition, which is nice.
Yeah, it's nice to have a hot spring in good condition. And then Hakuri's like, hey, if we can get all those blades and get all that shit taken care of, then you cops can go patrolling the low income parts of town and save the country.
You can help the little guys, huh?
Yeah,
maybe.
So sure, I'm down. But yeah,
I guess yes, they could do that.
And then they're
presumably
like, yeah, sure, sounds good, and you two can go in. I like your plan. But they aren't just gonna go, hey, yes, sure, you can meet our strongest asset that we have to check the crime family or whatever.
Yeah, we can just hand over one of the nuclear code keys. Like, that's fine.
And then we have these guys. If those previous four were not Bleach, he goes, these are all Bleach characters. Every single one of them is a Bleach character.
Yeah.
Especially in the next chapter.
Going back to that, black and white design aesthetic for manga, like it does feel like both of them knew how to maximize the black and white designs, because they're all just like very two-tone, like you can see with the black hair and white braids on the woman, and the black patch of hair amongst the white, and all the black spots on white coats and all the white spots on black coats. It's just it's very, very clearly designed for manga.
Yeah, and I love it. I'm not busting his balls or nothing. I think they're fun. I like.
No, that's a definite compliment. Like, that's one of the things that Kubo is best at as well, is drawing in a manga space.
Yes,
like the anime took significantly away from Kubo's charm because of that.
Real quick, the first arc when Shoujo was like fighting like a squad from the Kusanagi. It was none of these people, right? Like none.
No,
We
I
have
don't
not
think
seen
so.
any of these guys.
We
Okay.
have seen the guy with the glasses before. I can't remember
Yeah,
the context.
He was.
Okay.
We saw Hiyuki talking to him, I think.
Yeah, that's before Hyuki went to the auction.
Okay.
So
I couldn't remember if the guy bottom next to the right, if that was like the dude who was like kind of on our side. I feel like there
It
was
is.
like,
Oh,
okay,
is
is
that
that him?
him?
Okay.
Yeah,
That's-
that's the guy that they've met up with before, who's part of the secret police. who's
Okay, yeah,
friends with
he's
teleporting
their
guy.
their
Yeah,
little.
like the teleporting guy
mole
friend.
man.
Yeah, I thought that might have been him, but I wasn't sure. So if
I couldn't
you're saying it
remember.
is, then
Yeah,
I will
he's
agree
shitting
and believe.
himself.
Yeah. So let me get in front of not Yamamoto here. Here you go. State your name. Chihiro Rokuhira. Oh fuck. You know my dad. You want to do the next chapter? Anything you want to say for
let's
this one?
do it.
I think we can move on.
I think it's a pretty solid setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of just leads right in.
Let me get back.
He's
to-
wearing his sea prism stone stuff that cuts off his connection to his sword.
Yeah. When did
Uh,
Chihiro get this like turtleneck? I feel like I don't recall
I
him
don't
having
remember
that.
him having this turtleneck either. It's
We
a
got
good
to
look,
give him a
though.
nice coat after the auction. He
Well, I
got
feel
it
like he
for-
might have had it at some point, like during the auction as well. It's hard to notice because it's all just a wax suit flapping around typically.
Look, he's
I
got
don't
the
know.
drip.
Yeah,
It's my secret cap. I've always been wearing a turtleneck.
but they're deciding whether or not they want to trust him. Is he really the great Mr. Rokuhira's son?
Yeah.
Because he never met a single one of them. But that's also probably because his dad did not seem to get along perfectly with them either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's might come around, and could it be setting up that he could be adopted?
I don't think
Oh.
he's
See that?
adopted.
Yeah,
I
I don't.
think
I
he
don't
could
think.
be adopted.
I don't think so.
I
Just because
think
I feel
he
like
could
they.
find his son.
I
or
feel like
forge his son.
The
I feel like
Pinocchio blade.
Yeah, I feel like they have a lot of like I don't know if similarities is the word I want to say, but just like I feel like there's a panel later on in this where they are like side by side, and it is a very father son look at these two being
and
the
like
exact
even
same dude.
one even definitely commented they do look alike.
But I think this is more going to lead us to be like, yeah, your dad was not on a good standing with these people either. Like he also did not really trust the magic cops with his swords.
Yeah.
And maybe now that he is gone and they have them, that they can be, or that they have the wielders or something, they can maybe give you a little bit of revisionist history and be like, nah, we're the good guys and we should definitely have the swords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we get a flash to the hot spring that we saw, and we see that the bandaged person is sitting here.
The one really cloaked up one at least.
Yeah. Let me get a fun little flash of this. I want to just shout out how much I appreciate seeing this, because this is what I think is missing from Jujutsu Kaisen. Little editor's notes. Put a little thing.
I
just
do
asterisk,
appreciate
tattoo,
that, yeah.
punishment. It's just a small little thing you could do that a lot of things aren't doing anymore. Where did these go? Bring them back. I like it.
Like they said this joke, and it's in Japanese, and it's really I'm not gonna fit all
Yeah, it
that
doesn't
here.
translate this well. Here's kind of what the pun means. You could, God. Anyway, they have
So, said this, but there's no word.
they mentioned that the one guy who is already like dismissive of him is like, did we even get a blood test from him? They like, I like that we even got
Okay, man, we don't have time. The blood's being analyzed. We'll figure that out soon.
yeah, they have a temporary seal
It's
on
going
the
to take a whole
Shuguchi.
day. You
It's gonna
realize how
have a
fast
whole
this
day.
manga moves?
Yeah, do you understand? We don't have that kind of time.
In a day, we could already be done with the next
Yeah,
arc.
this arc might be over by the time we get this blood test back. Now, see, that could be the surprising end of the arc, is we have like a crazy, super action-packed like
Grant,
arc.
what if? Oh,
And the whole thing is like the Kusanagi kind of coming around and being like, you know, this Chihiro guy, we can trust him maybe. Like he's saved the day, he's done all this stuff.
And then
he's
they get the
earned,
thing.
He's earned our respect and our trust, and they're like, the blood test came back. He
It's-
isn't related at all.
Oh
like, and then
my
just
God.
boom, and
Yes.
then next
Yes.
arc is the reveal that his dad is the wielder of the Shunuichi, and now it's like a really whole wild thing, and he's the son of the gang lord, and it's gonna be
Yes.
crazy. Boom.
Okay, Grant, I'm all right. You got me in the camp. All right, I'm down.
Wah, wah, wah.
And then it turns out he's the son of the guy he fought in the Rakuzaichi, the head of the Hishaku.
So
Man.
he
Another
has
thing
a secret
I-
thing under his ass.
Another way I think they're gonna speed up the arcs is that one of these swords people is gonna be a 2-sword wielder.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
absolutely. We're gonna have a
Ooh.
2-swordsy.
Yeah, we can't just go with we gotta go with the a dual sword wielder. What about 3 sword wielder?
That's kind of
Crazy.
gay.
Yeah, that's stupid. I don't think
I
anybody
think people
would
are
do
gonna
that.
get upset
It'd
that
never
power
work.
scaling with that, and I'm gonna lose all track of it.
Yeah. But then Hakuri can't use his power, so it's just like,
Yeah, so
no,
they're like,
but
well,
trust
this plan of
me.
yours sounds great. Let's do it. And he's like, well, he can't right now.
I
But he-
definitely have a girlfriend. She's just out of town right now.
You have to believe me. She gets nosebleeds whenever she shows up around people. It's really embarrassing.
Look, it's not like this all the time. I've just been drinking a lot.
And then Hiyuki's been like vouching for them this whole time, which is cool because we had that
Yeah,
like
it just fully feels like
Yeah.
Hiyuki is fully on our side now, which
yeah,
is
he
nice.
has had a full flip after watching both, I think, Chihiro and like, oh man, I'm blanking on Samurai Kid's name, but Hakuri. Watching them like basically both nearly sacrifice themselves for the last mission. I think Hiyuki's just kind of like, yeah, all right, we're in. They're cool.
yeah.
I trust them.
I was wondering if that would be dragged out for long, if we were gonna have a will she, won't she, which is my least favorite conflict of anything ever. Because
Yeah, I do think there is an opportunity for her to be like, stop trusting them, but I'm glad that they're not dragging out the midpoint between the phases.
yeah, this is very much very established in this one that she's like, at least for now, yes, I trust them and you should trust them too.
Yeah.
And the one hot-headed guy very much not liking Chihiro, and
I bet he's gonna be his dad's best friend and be like, "Your dad never told me about your."
He's gonna
about
be a
you coming
Snape?
around. Yeah.
okay.
Is that the thing with Snape? I didn't know
Yes.
that.
Well,
Well,
in the
kinda.
way that it's just generational hatred.
Yeah. Then here we go. We get Hiyuki going like, nope, I vouch for him. Sure, he's not going to kill the bears and give them the swords and all that crap. It's like, oh shit. I like this little moment too with the
I love
Hakuri
that.
and-
It's my favorite panel of this chapter.
Yeah,
It's just
Fist
the
bump,
fist
buddy.
bump.
Yeah,
Like,
very-
we're all on the same side. Nice.
yeah. These small little human moments are so good in this.
Yeah.
And then this is the single most Bleachigo bleach face I've ever seen outside of Bleachigo. And I love these designs. I love these expressions that we got here. Takeru Hokuzono is their name, I think. Right? What is
I
that?
don't know.
I don't
Do I
remember
look
the
like someone
fucking
with a
name.
good memory?
Yeah, do you look like a guy with a good
Takeru
memory or
Hokuzono.
reading?
You're
Yes,
right.
Takeru Hokuzono. I was
nice.
right. Look at me. Look at me. I
Yeah.
comprehended my reading.
I should commit that name to memory because Kagurabachi is very good.
You're gonna remember it.
Oh, chat saying looks like Sabretooth. Yes, very Sabertoothy. I see
I
what
get
you're
that
putting.
vibe.
I see what you're putting down. And then he's not liking them, so he pulls out these beads.
Yeah, he's just gonna kill him.
His
From-
magic bead, his murder beads.
His murder beads. I can't tell if these are supposed to be coming out of his body.
I
You see
took
what
it
I-
as like a wristband, kind of like wrapping around, or like kind of.
Yeah, my reading comprehension says that it's wrapping around his hand.
I think they're popping out of his pores like an anal
That's what
bead.
I thought when I was reading it, but none of the strings look like they're connecting. I think it might be like some sort of just like beads flying around his hand as he
I think of it like
builds up magic
Chihiro's fish. Like it's just a thing that like starts floating around, and when he activates his power.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. I don't see a proper string there.
And then we get looking like there's gonna be a fight. I like immediately we just see the
He's-
flash
yeah,
of
he
he's got
pulls
the
out the
mask
mask.
on.
Yeah, he isn't able to use his powers, but he can at least get this ready.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
then
well,
don't know
do
who
his
that
best.
is.
our little informant guy is like, oh shit, am I going to have to fight my my coworkers right now?
My own cop
Yeah,
buddies.
you can tell he's getting ready, but his expression is just like, I don't know who I'm gonna actually fight here.
Yeah. That was a really good little panel. And then, oh shit, you guys thought we were gonna drag this out. Fuck you, they're already attacking.
Hey, stop your stupid meeting talking about whether or not we should go with the plan. Our plan's already too late. We need to move.
Yeah. We've already talked for a chapter and a half. That's way too much. Let's get fighting.
Yeah. Way too long. Thank you, Kagurabachi. I'm ready to go. So several assassins have shown up, all with at least spirit readings of things that seem like the characteristics of an enchanted blade. And oh no,
And the fortress was annihilated. I love that. Just like, oh, by the way, our big safeguarded place, yeah, it's already fallen.
my favorite thing, a hot spring intact has been ruined.
Damn.
And then there was also a sighting of a man with an emblem resembling flames, which I'm not sure. If
Okay,
that's
so
what
apparently
I would
that's
call
supposed
it.
to be
It's
flame.
flames, yeah.
I'm not sure if that's what I would say.
So much for my man holding a sword.
I would call it a fan almost.
I see like the little fan for sure. I see a fan
I
there.
can see that.
Maybe that's what they're gonna be. It's gonna be like it's not flames rising.
They're fanning the flame.
Fanning the flame
Whoa.
of revolution or something stupid. And then characteristics of enchanted blade energy. That sounds like the little wacky shit Sojo was doing.
A stone.
And I
And
like
the
that.
stuff that made Jellyfish Kid go nuts.
I like that we have this
Yeah.
brief, like this one panel does a lot of legwork to tie into the last arc of why would they give Cloud Gouger to Sojo? Because Sojo was giving them bombs. That's why.
Yeah.
Which I like just this little cutaway here to help bridge the gap between those two.
Yep. 2 panels is all you need to connect the arcs. Again, it makes it all make sense. It makes it all connected. And it took 2 panels.
Then yeah, we get the all right, cool, big head honcho guys like got it. We don't really have any other choice. You're kind of our best bet.
Yeah, I like them kind of going like, okay, but say we do decide to let you work with us. When you get these blades, you're not just going to hand them back to us, are you? And he's like, all right, you know what, cards on the table? I'm not, but right now you really don't have time to pick anyone else.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Which is
all right.
apparently very similar to a conversation his dad had with the same people. So
yeah, so they're all
it'd
just
be
like,
interesting
yep,
to see
that's our guy.
how that went.
Yeah. He's cool. Definitely Rokuhira's son.
Yeah.
So that makes me think like whatever happened in the past that required these blades was like a huge and immediate threat in the same kind of way. Like, okay, very pressing. We've only got like a day to sort this out. We need your swords and or something like that. So I feel like that's a very similar parallel that could have happened there.
Mm-hmm. And take his cuffs off. We don't got any time, but hey, I know we're not letting you seal the blades or whatever the fuck you're gonna try to do. But hey, we'll work together for now. And hey, news report: the bearer is alive. So the bandaged up bearer has been fleeing, and you
Are they
two are gonna
bandaged
meet
up?
them
I think they're just in a big cloak with a huge hat, and so that's why you can't see any of them.
I think they're doing the whole Aizawa thing.
What do you mean?
Aizawa
Or
thing?
is that his name?
The My Hero guy who's got like the big scarf.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I think that's just like a cloak that's bundled up across half his face.
Nah, it's the Kenshin dude. It's what's his face? Ishio. It's
I
all
think it's
bandaged
gonna be a
up.
thing where everyone's gonna be like, all right, here,
I
this
think it's gonna be.
this swords master is going to be a lady, and the whole thing is gonna be they've got like this big like cloak that hides their body shape, and we will have like a whole chapter of like, get that man, that guy, where'd that dude go? And then we'll meet an unrelated lady, and then she'll be like, actually, I'm the sword wielder. We gotta go. Like it was me.
I think
Actually, I'm
they.
your mom.
I think they used the blade, and it scarred them for life.
I think
Okay.
yeah, they're mostly skeleton. I think their skin has withered away.
I do think they are a girl.
Yeah, I think it's a girl too,
I think it's a girl whose skin has withered away.
A skeleton girl,
because they
Yes.
used the enchanted blade.
Yes.
bone lady.
I think she's so beautiful that she's got to hide it all.
Oh yeah, okay. It's
Yeah.
distracting. Her
Oh,
beauty is
yeah.
so overpowering.
We know
And
what?
would be
We haven't had
impossible to
any
mistake.
fan service here. I hope they
True.
dedicate 10 chapters of showing her in promiscuous scenarios.
The only way we can get her sword is if we go through her panty drawer.
Hang on, this is head editor of Shonen Jump here. Everything's on fire. We lost everything that is in One Piece. You guys got to get eyeballs now, and we need where there's no boobs. I'm not seeing lack of tits. Can we get some
Yeah.
more in here? Anyways, thanks for taking the criticism. Hope you make it.
We did a survey. 2/3 of your audience thought Hiyuki was a dude the first chapter they showed up. You've got to fix this.
I like
That's
no
true.
fan service. Doesn't Hiyuki count? Girl exists. That's fan service.
That's pretty close to fan service. I mean, she's naked under her clothes.
Yeah,
I
just
really-
imagine.
For real though, I would be sad if that's just like, oh haha, teehee, XD. This one is a little too serious for that shit, and it would actively detract against it.
Yeah.
Feel out of place.
Yeah.
But this is good. I like this is Tyler brought this up when we started. But yeah, this was I wasn't expecting it to be this fast. But then Kagurabachi reminded me, no, baby, I got you.
Yeah, I was definitely expecting like a good 3 or 4 chapters of like, here's the magic cop compound. Here's like magic cop dude who deals with magic evidence.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna like talk to you about him, and like he'll tell you about some of the swords we've found or seen or something.
I definitely thought we were gonna get like at least like a little training arc of some kind between now and.
You need to learn how to use our magic cop detection skills.
Because he was like, man, I need to get stronger after that last shit fucked me up.
Yeah, like there's no. I think the thing that gets me is there was like no world building thing. Like we just. They're okay. They're at the cop.
Here's
building.
where the magic cops have operated.
Yeah,
I mean, ideally, and this is probably how Kagurabachi's going to handle it. Ideally, you want to insert that seamlessly into the more interesting story elements. So it's just like, oh, we have to get there. We have to get there quick. Well, check it out. The magic police has their own special magic car, and that's how we get there. And that's part of the world building.
And we need a funny little magic car. It's like it's a Flintstones car, and they all gotta.
They all
like,
have
I'm
to
sorry,
run together.
Chihiro, you have to to take your shoes off. It works for the spell.
Barefoot
you have
only
to be
is
barefoot.
the only way. Yeah.
You have to channel your spirit power through your toes.
And then he goes, I've never taken off my shoes. I'd rather let the swords fall into the wrong hands.
But yeah,
I like this just because, like, considering the timeline, we've literally got, our one friend who can't use his powers because he's still exhausted from the last fight, and we are already launching into the next thing.
Yeah,
to just kind of ensure that we're going to have to put that solution off into the background for a little bit because all of our heroes are going to be busy for a little bit.
That kind of goes along with what I was bringing up earlier with just how powerful this current team is. Like, we're going to need some weird inconveniences to make it so that you can write it and believably go like, why can't they just do this? Well, they can't because,
That's something I've become more and more aware of. When I was listening through the commentaries for Lost, the term that they use internally is called the shot computer because if you recall in season 2, there's a shot computer. And the reason they use that is because, like, okay, once they get to the situation, everyone's going to be asking questions and there's just going to be a lot of dialogue explaining all this stuff. We can't have that drag down the pace. So we need to insert an immediate conflict that takes away from, like, okay, there's a lot of urgency now. We can't ask the questions that everyone's wanting to ask. And that way we keep the story moving. So that is a tool that I'm seeing pop up a lot in this. And it's something to be very aware of for good storytelling.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we like Grant was saying, there could have been 3 or 4 chapters of doing all this shit, but in lieu of doing an expo dump, it has been, okay, out of our hands, here's this thing that is compelling our characters to act, and we have to do it now in the middle of having this giant conversation.
And we'll get those questions answered piecemeal throughout whenever they get a chance to breathe for 1 second.
Yeah. It's like action. Through the action, reveal things while things are happening. Take a break, introduce maybe another question, answer a couple more. Oh shit, action thing happened. And just do that forever.
It's a cool pace to keep, and I'm down with it. I'm liking how they're setting this up already and how we're already kicking in.
Yeah, it's
a good start.
It is so fast paced though that I am like, we had this other conversation where we talked about if it hasn't come out yet, we talked about the future of Shonen Jump stuff and what it looks like, and talked a lot about things being like big worlds. Like a lot of the big mangas went on for a long time to build up their worlds, a place that you could imagine yourself in, or OCs or whatever the fuck. And taking your time to build those things up. We talked about, Ben was like, oh, but Star Wars has a lot in it, but Star Wars is not as fast paced as this. Like the first 30 minutes of Star Wars, we see that spaceship and then we're on Tatooine for like that whole time, and just here's how life is. Here's what life is like on this. I drink blue milk. Isn't that weird? And
I don't know.
I'm going to
getting
shoot some
ton
womp
of that.
rats.
I spent longer reading Kagurabachi than it would take to watch through the first trilogy of Star Wars.
Well, that's because your reading comprehension is bad.
Oh, you're right. I didn't consider that part.
But
I can definitely read so many chapters of this in the amount of time it would take me to watch one Star Wars.
I'm just wondering what they're going to do with the world building stuff, because if there was a time to go, hey, here's what the world looks like a little more, this was it, and now it's not. So I'm just wondering if that's going to happen and when. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just something that I was expecting and we didn't get, and I'm down for it. I'm down for the
like
action
I said,
stuff.
With the vibe of this series so far, I feel like it's just going to like kind of just move the whole time, I think.
Yeah.
And so like I don't like we were talking about earlier, I don't foresee this being a super long manga. I'm like I am betting we're already nearing like somewhat of a halfway point at this point. Just because it's going to be like we're going to get these blades. Like I feel like we're going to get these enchanted blades, and that will be the plot. Like that'll
probably
be it.
Yeah.
Like once that conflict is solved, the story is done and the series ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna.
It does seem like building up a huge world like that does feel like that's a bigger part of like it feels like a different genre than what Kagurabachi's going for. Like this feels like an action movie versus, an adventure serial for the other ones.
Yeah, and this, in that sense, I think only set up in the beginning. Hey, we need to get these swords, and I want to take revenge on my dad. Hi, I'm the guy that killed your dad. Hey, here's these other swords. We already have everything that we've been promised would get a payoff on the table. I think there's only, it would be artificial to lengthen that anymore. So I completely agree with you. It's probably going to be we have 4 wielders and Shinichi guy. We're going to go through these 4. Save Shinichi guy for the end, maybe, but I don't know.
And then there's probably like one big threat, like the reason the war broke out in the first place, I'm sure is going to be a sticking point, but that feels like that's after we've gotten the swords and stuff.
We want to get all the swords in one spot so we can melt them down for their dreamium ore, and once we have that, we can rule the world.
No, we make the ultimate sword. It's going to be Kingdom Hearts. I need to make the one blade. And it's gonna wrap around and be whoever takes this one blade rules Europe. I mean Japan.
Okay, yeah, gets the whole of Japan under their thrall, and that's got to be our boy Kagurabachi.
But yeah,
good stuff.
Chapters were good.
I'm digging it. Kagurabachi setting up, looking good.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth
being a reedy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth deigning a reedy every week, but
yeah, I mean, just as far as whether or not we rated it to be a good chapter in and of itself, then
I enjoyed these 2 chapters, just like for what little setup they did, but for how quick they moved.
Yeah,
I'm a fan, and like we even talked about a little bit, like some of the character stuff, the interactions were good and nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of Hakuri, and I want to see Mr. Shiba. I want to know more about him. That's like kind of what I'm waiting on. He seems like a blank check that this is waiting to cash in.
Like they were even like, he's clearly doing more than just teleport.
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, but we could just move right on through to Jujutsu Kaisen now.
Yes.
Yeah, while one sets up, another starts winding down.
Yes.
All right. This is now Jujutsu Kaisen.
Full-on spoilers. Be ready.
Wee wah. You have not read chapter 267 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Exit now.
Get away.
Or experience it with us if you want.
Out of a window.
Okay. Oh my God! I don't even know how I want to do. I don't even know how I want to do this.
Let's start off by saying that I brought this up before.
Right. We were both right. Great, God damn it! I've always stood by it.
But I remember saying in our last Jujutsu Kaisen video, which hasn't officially gone up yet, that it's like, oh, this will happen and this will happen, and Kira's like, yes, I know it'll happen, and I'm like, no, of course it won't happen, you idiot.
No,
I was
exactly
joking, I was being sarcastic. And that's what happened in this chapter.
Yeah, it's oh my God, I love it. So it feels so good. So this is, what is this, the first of 5 chapters? Right?
I think it is. I think there's 4 left after
4
this.
more after
Only
this?
4 before ahead of us.
Oh my God. Okay. So we kicked things off with, we saw like a weird little wacky domain expansion from Yuji last time, and then we saw the finger.
He was missing a finger. He was missing another finger.
Yes, missing another finger. And then we saw Sukuna's finger in the middle of some wacky backroomsy staircase.
So we mostly figured out what that issue was we didn't like officially land on it, but we skimmed around the topic enough to get an idea.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, we already know that Yuta had Sukuna's power from a finger.
Yes.
But Yuji's missing another finger. What if Yuta got that finger? And so this is officially explaining that, yes, that is exactly
what happened. Yeah, I'm happy that we were able to put that together. Score 1 for our reading comprehension.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't realize y'all already. I went to the bathroom real quick.
Oh, I didn't hear you say
I
that.
tried saying
no.
it like 3 times.
I didn't hear it at all.
No, I didn't hear it either.
I'm sorry.
Well, I
Well,
like
we've
that
started.
they did switch training just so you two would be used to his body.
Yes.
That is really good. It's like, okay, that's how he's like, okay, I could use the purple thing because I trained in Gojo's body for a bit.
Yeah, and the whole thing we always said was that, hey, we hypothesized that this was what was going to happen. Turns out it's what happened. Lamau. That's all you missed.
Yep.
We're like, just
Where
started.
Yuta
Although
ate
I am
Yuji's
kind
finger.
of like, so Gojo was so like, I'm not gonna lose before the fight, but this is like him doing this training is him
seeming
admitting,
very
like,
serious
no, I'm
talk
going
of
to
like,
lose.
but if I lose, I'm going to set up all of the possibilities to fix it.
Are you
Yeah,
saying
that's-
that this is like retconny or like you don't buy it?
Well, I don't know. At least
don't-
this part, I don't think this part was thought through.
You don't think Gojo would have sat down and been like, yes, let's think down, let's let me assist in thinking through the fail.
No, you don't need to
failing
switch
scenario.
with me. I'm just gonna fucking win. Don't worry about it.
I don't
Like,
think
y'all
that.
can get stronger and everything, but you don't need to worry about.
See,
like,
I the way I see it is, I think when he says I'm gonna win or whatever, is he is taking his students and proteges into account. I think this is how he won, was not being alone. Like,
Yeah.
is like that's his bigger statement.
Yeah, and that was
I think
always the
more so it's
foundational
just, like-
thing. Was like I
Like,
could take
remember
over the
there
world.
being a conversation of them being like, it's so weird to think that Gojo wouldn't win, but we have to plan for this because it's just like, how could we it'd be irresponsible to not, but it's so weird to think he wouldn't win. And so I think that's kind of like the mindset that everyone would be in for this, right? That
yeah.
was my take on it.
I still think this is in line with his character because the one of the first things I remember about him and why I liked him was he was like, I could take over the world, but I'd rather raise up a generation of people that like me or whatever. Like I would rather elevate these students and try to like, teach them about like how to be like good people in the society of like corrupt motherfuckers. And so this still is just in line with him kind of following through with one of his students. So I like that. I don't know.
I think it works.
And yeah, we see that, yes, we got talking about this. Rika could eat a body part. I learned all about this stuff. And, oh, you've already been emblazoned with Sukuna's techniques, whether or not you realize it. So you could do that too.
I love how they retroactively here go like, hey, Sound Guy gave me his arm, which I was using his abilities way before that part.
Yes. Yeah. I guess that happened at some point.
Yeah, I didn't realize. So did Sound Guy only have one arm? I forgot that happened. I guess.
They set up a thing in between at least the Shibuya arc and Yuta finding him, where it's like during the Shibuya incident, whenever Sukuna used his domain, he was close enough that his arm got taken off, but that was it.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I completely forgot.
And they
about
show
that.
him with like his arm like covered in seals and everything, but I guess his arm was just on the ground, shredded up, and not completely destroyed like everything else.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't go like, hey, I was using it in the movie well before that happened or anything. But it's
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know exactly how that all came together personally, but I also don't
real
remember
quick,
it very
I
well.
3D printed the Cloud Gouger, and I've just been stimming with it this whole time.
Good.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Cloud Gouger.
Good.
Or Cloud, not Cloud
No,
Gouger.
not Cloud Gouger. The other
Playful Cloud.
Playful Cloud.
I found a Cloud.
What's
Cloud
a
Gouger
Playful
file,
Cloud?
though.
That's
It's a
the
different weapon
nunchucks
entirely.
that Toji uses.
Oh,
Oh.
The bow staff.
Yeah, the thing,
Okay.
the
That's
staff
not
that
the
turns
Cloud
into
Gouger.
nunchucks. But yeah, we got that set up, and
Like, oh, if you heal from whatever we ate, it doesn't work.
I love those two panels of Yuji just being like, "We can do this." They're like, "No, it won't." Oh,
yeah. There's still like I love just these fun little bits. I've always loved these fun things. Like I don't know, they've always been such a fun levity thing throughout this entire series. I love whenever I get to see the stupid little doodles and shit and fun little faces. I'm happy that even in the 11th hour we are getting goofy little
Yep.
bits.
5 chapters from the end, we still get these little goofy sketch characters.
I do like how he just like nonchalantly nominates those two to get their like fingers cut off.
Yeah. And then we we get the whole setup here that, hey, you've already got Sukuna's abilities. Don't know if you knew that, but hey, you totally do.
So let me eat your finger.
You just need to use
And then with all that retroactive setup, we're back in here, baby. The boys' fingers, we got 2 missing. And then, Yuta did say earlier in the fight, like, you never recovered the last one. That was a bluff. Oh. But fulfilled the copy conditions for Malevolent Shrine wasn't my finger, but the boys. And so
the big hallway is where where Jujutsu higher ups had kept the finger forever, trying to destroy it.
Yeah, and
which okay. Now I don't know where and why I thought this is that's guitar sorcerer.
This is guitar
old man,
principal.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought he died.
No, he's not
like
dead.
Gojo was like, I don't mind leaving the school to him.
Okay, all right, maybe
he's a really good guy, but he just follows the principle of it, and like there are shitty people giving him orders.
Principle.
He's gonna be at the top.
He's a little too letter of the law.
Yeah.
Principle that made Panda died, not him.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Maybe that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And they killed the other higher ups too, but those never. I don't think we ever saw any of the higher ups.
Never saw them. No.
Okay. Yeah. I think when they said like we killed the other higher ups, I think I lumped him in with them and thought like he was killed there.
They were just weird, shadowy behind closed doors. Literally,
he was there for he was doing the music for Gojo's like enchantment for the big opening attack.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, his 200% hollow purple thing. He was there with her.
I forgot that.
It's okay, Graham.
But anyway.
And man, I lost a bet.
How much did you say? What was it?
$50.
No.
And I will hold that.
I'll just take some 3D prints. I'm good.
I'll give you $50 worth of plastic.
So we have with the fun little recanting this that Sukuna's fingers are capable of withstanding physical force and sorcery. And it's like, well, if you give up trying to destroy the objects from your plans and focus on penetrating the curse technique itself, then it might work. What concerns me more is it hasn't even been an hour since she woke up.
Who could that
be?
Who could it be?
Holy fucking shit!
And it's like perfectly how she's like everybody's redrawn her for all those fake spoilers.
I know.
Just like her, the exact same with an eye patch.
Yeah, it's just her with the little eye patch thing. And oh my god, I know I
was so ready for this to be like fake spoilers, but the more it got posted, I was like, okay, no.
Yeah, I was mentioning when we all became aware of it, I was mentioning how I just have an alt account that just follows artists, and a lot of it is like porn too. And so it's just like I never really expected to get spoilers for Jujutsu Kaisen on this, but literally like 5 artists in a row started posting their old Nobara pics, and I'm like, okay, yeah,
so it's real.
Yeah, and you know what? Call me boys, because I'm happy. I'm super. I'm down. I was so ready for this.
It's real. I think this is an illusion that's being cast by Sukuna.
This is
okay. Yeah.
Okay. This is still an illusion. It's
hope.
not real. None of this is real. You're dreaming, Ben.
But like everything was set up to be like, hey, I'm gone.
No, everything was set up for her
Literally
to come
the last thing
back.
they say is she's still alive, but in critical condition. Like people have survived this, and then we just don't see her anymore.
Certain.
Here's all the lineup of all these confirmed dead characters, except for this one.
And that's the thing is none of
and
them.
Gojo's also alive.
Nobody's truly dead in this series. Toji came back. She isn't fucking dead. How many
Toji
times?
never died.
Okay.
And neither did she. She was alive the whole time.
He got his hand cut off. When did he die?
He got reincarnated. Yes, he did. He died.
But they said all along that she might have died from it. Who knows? And then it was always a mystery.
Woo.
But I always thought
Wait, am
I thought
I
the
dying
theming.
to Wait.
Are you thinking Toto and not Toji?
Toji, Fushigiro's dad, the guy with the sword.
Yes, you're right. Sorry, I'm bad with names.
Yeah, because he got channeled because he was dead.
Yeah.
And then was too
But
strong and was there
Yuji
forever
always
now.
Yuji always blames himself. He always is like, oh, everyone died because of me. It's all my fault. So this time when Nobara's dead for real, he won't blame himself. That's his character
Oh.
growth.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
was-
Yes.
He's gone silent as all of his theories fall apart.
I'm gonna kill myself. Did I not save this awesome tweet?
Where's the tweet?
He's
Where's
got
this
no
awesome
receipts.
tweet?
While you're searching for that, we've got Nobara sticking a nail into it, which is exactly what I said wouldn't happen in
This
our
is
last
exactly
episode.
what I've said would happen. 'Cause it's so good. It's too good. You never thought it would. You never thought it would happen.
Should have known this was happening as soon as they announced there were only 5 chapters. It's like left, but it's like, well, we've got 1 chapter to bring her back, another chapter to kill Sukuna, another chapter to bring back whoever we've lost, Gojo, and then
Yes.
1 chapter to just say goodbye to everything.
Yes, we got to get through this one, but yeah, absolutely.
And also Kenjaku comes back and merges
Yes,
everyone
yes, yes,
together
yes, yes,
and
yes,
then
good
gets
point.
defeated by
Yes,
forgot
yes, yes,
everyone
yes.
going
I'm
Super
nodding
Saiyan.
furiously.
The Sukuna killing chapter will also be the Kenjaku
No, this
returns
time
chapter.
it's actually not going to happen. I believe it this time. It's not going to happen.
So we finally get her using resonance, that whole thing that we built up of, oh, she has a silver bullet that does this insane thing. It is what you think of when you think of curses in Japanese folklore, the fucking doll and the nail and the hammer. Of course it was going to happen. You don't set this up and
She
not
has
follow
the
through with it.
iconic curse imagery.
Anyways, bam, get owned, idiot. And he realizes that she's done it, and then because of the domain, his shit can't miss. Everything's going good. And one little thing I want to call out here is in the Japanese, in the original Japanese, Yuji says, "Oh, what does he say? Oh, pee pee." I think I don't know if it's like a reference to something. I don't even know what it is, but he jumps out and says like, "Oh, pee pee," something, which did not get translated in English under the, where did I put it? In the John Wary version, did not get translated to that. It was translated to "Ha, gotcha," which is, so just in case you didn't get this was a reference to what Yuji said when they thought he was dead.
When they revealed that he was alive the whole time.
That she's alive the whole time, and you see his face, and it's so good. I love this. This panel makes everything worth it. It's so fucking rad. And we see
It is good.
This also blankets, like, every time freaking Yuji would be like, hey, don't forget her. Like, she's still part of our crew. Like, he knew she was alive the whole time. Like, I think, she was unconscious or whatever, but he knew what us audience, except for me and Kieran, who knew, he knew what we knew the whole time, which was, there's no fucking way she's dead.
I don't think he knew. I think he believed.
he believed. I don't think he knew.
I believe he knew that she was still just unconscious and not declared dead. Like, we all assumed that she had been declared dead and he was holding out a false faith. I think that he, she was basically in a coma and he was like, yeah, she's not dead. She's in a coma. She's coming back, guys, which is basically how we all felt.
Yeah. I think that could maybe be revealed later, but regardless, we knew that she wasn't dead, and our votes matter more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Billion dismantles, getting them all cut up, and we're still in his domains. Everything's landing, and then just more punchies.
Yuji's getting all messed up, and now Sukuna's getting all messed up.
A double blow with a temporal difference. Let's
What could
finish
that
this.
be?
Your curse must end.
What is that describing?
Bam!
It's the Black Flash.
You know what it is.
That's how it had to. That's the final hit. Had to hit.
And this looks pretty. I think this is the most in pain we've seen him in pain. There's 4 chapters left. This has to be.
I think that's the
close
final
to
blow.
it.
I think that's
We've
the
done
final blow.
the manga classic. He has no pupils anymore, so he is probably just unconscious or like just down.
Yeah, like I think when they said the battle reaches its climax last time I mentioned, okay, this is going to be the final chapter of the fight. I think he's going to be on the ground for the rest of the next chapter, and and he's going to die. Like, that was it.
Yeah, and there's
So does that mean he's getting split from Fushiguro? Will we just have him spit up a finger, and now it's just this is all that's left of the great Sukuna?
Because here's what I think is still going to happen. I think that, all right, so now we're in theory territory, right?
Yeah.
End of chapter. Chapter has concluded. Everything now is us speculating.
Yeah. Final review. It's good to be right, and I never know what it's like to be wrong. I'll never know in my life. The thing that I see happening in the next 4 chapters is, Grant briefly mentioned it, I think Gojo is coming back. I think somehow, I don't know how, so I can't give you as much of a narrative as I could with her still being okay. I think they're going to pull something, because they did the popularity poll results recently, and it was like, Gojo, 120,000 votes. Yuji, 15K.
Okay. You think he
Number
gets him
2.
a popularity poll? He's going to bring a character back from the dead just
Yes!
out of nowhere? I don't think so.
Yes!
That would be a coward move.
Absolutely not.
But because, not just for that reason, I think the reason it's going to happen is because it helps envelop what this was supposed to be in a way, with wrapping up Yuji's arc with everything, of feeling like everything is his fault. I feel like Sukuna will have some stupid magic that can bring him back or undo Cleave if he combines it with something Yuji does. Because we still don't know what Yuji's domain is.
So just a place to talk. It was just a spot where he could have an unfettered talk no jutsu moment.
And I think
I kinda
Yuji's
think
domain
that.
is going to be a power of friendship thing, where he can, if not completely revive him, bring back some form of him for at least a going away moment. Going to the,
Well,
like,
I mean, that's entirely different than saying he's coming back to life.
Yeah.
well, he'll be back alive for like 20 minutes.
I think Gojo's just done and dead. I don't think he needs to come back at all, other than just like they look over and like the wind's blowing and like there's a shadow
They see
of
his
Gojo
force
or
ghost,
whatever.
yeah.
But his corpse is smiling like he knew all along that this was how it was gonna go.
Like they take out Yuta's brain and then it smiles.
I just think there's too many things wrapped up with the body remembers things about being possessed. Yuta is possessing Gojo's body. Some fraction of him will be there, and we're going to do something with that fraction to give us a neat little bow on this entire story of like the whole friends thing.
I do kind of ultimately feel like, despite what I said earlier, and sorry, Kieran, to backpedal here, I don't think Gojo will come back, just because I feel like his whole, like, the whole impetus of a lot of this plot was like Gojo was born and it tipped the scales, and like evil had to double down to match him. So I feel like it'll be like maybe the world's better off without me, and I'm hanging out in this bus stop with all my friends.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna stay here.
Gege wanted to end it at Cell, is what you're saying.
Yeah, kinda. And so it's gonna be one of those things where it's going to be, Gojo basically being like, me being alive forces evil to be too strong. And also, you guys did what I couldn't, so what do you need me for anyway? My job is done. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I think there could be like a little send-off thing. Maybe there's like a nice little like posthumous quote that we hear from him that's like, oh yeah, I was glad to be dying because I could be with my friends in an airport again and all that stuff.
Look, what's
and
gonna
usually
happen,
when you die, you're gonna have friends in an airport too. Good for you.
Yeah,
Look,
just like
what's gonna
Lost Ben, your
happen
favorite thing.
in the next chapter, what is it? Yuta's gonna have a baby, and because we found out that they're related, the baby's gonna have the sixth
Holy
eye.
fuck. That's really good. And then it smiles and goes, "I'm back, baby!" And it's like in like Adam Sandler voice or something.
Yeah.
And then cut to credits.
Yeah, and then cut to credits, and then this was
Call
our
him
Jujutsu Kaisen.
GJ.
I'm gonna name him Jujutsu, and then he winks at the camera.
And then it ends with
this
going,
one.
"You are my special."
I do think though that he might not come back to life, but I think something will happen to get that will be part of the send off of something. What it is, I don't know. I'm not gonna.
I
I'm
have
not
to
gonna
get
give a
back
thing.
out of my domain. I better go to the airport.
Exactly.
Gotta fly home now, but I'm gonna leave you here, Sukuna. I'm just like, what? That's the real domain terror, is that you can just be dropped off in it and left.
That'd be good. And something with, because like, what are the other 4? I think like Yuji will probably get Sukuna in him. Like, I don't think we're gonna kill Sukuna. I think Sukuna will be like a QB with Naruto. QB didn't die, don't at me. QB's always in Naruto, shut the fuck up. I do not believe
I don't know.
Boruto.
It feels like when Sukuna like flat out rejected the themes of like connection and all that stuff in the previous chapters. That was like, okay, officially irredeemable moment. He's not learning his lesson. He needs to go.
Well, that's
I think he's gonna die.
Well, then that's why we get the Talk No Jutsu stuff for another chapter with him here, and then we have the denouement of 3 more chapters, which sounds better than 4 chapters of resolution. Like we need we need 2 more conflict points. It's not going to be 3 chapters of just resolution.
So
It could
okay,
be that's what My Hero was.
he knocks out Sukuna right here, and then in the next shot, Yuji cuts off one of his own fingers and forces it into Sukuna's mouth, and he goes, "Now I will live in you, preventing you from doing evil, and I will be this constant conscience in your ear telling you to be a good guy."
Oh my God,
and it
Grant,
will
you're
just
so good.
break you down from the inside.
If we're talking about actual conflict points, though, I do think Fushiguro,
Yeah, we gotta
like
set Fushiguro free. That'll
death.
Yeah,
That'll probably be this next chapter, right?
Yeah.
Is the next chapter. So I don't think Sukuna is going to get redeemed. I think there's a lot of other stuff to cover that's not that, and I don't think Sukuna's character implies that in any way.
I think the final, just because if Gege wants to live up to the quote of I have an ending in mind that I think will please most people or whatever. One of the lingering things that I see people constantly wanting is Sukuna's backstory. We still don't really know anything about him. And so I feel like we have a chapter to do that. We can do that. Like in the next chapter or the one after, whatever it is. And
I
then,
saw a lot of people begging for whenever it was announced that. Actually, I want to bring up one of those tweets because there was a whole list that I saw going around like, oh, Jujutsu Kaisen's ending, and
this many unresolved things.
Yeah, we were promised a Heian arc, and it was like, I don't feel like that was needed.
Yeah,
like personally, I don't feel like Sukuna's bad for the reason of being bad. He was like big bad guy back when his day. He was Big Dick Lord, and we get to see what Big Dick Lord looks like now with Gojo. But now it's bad. He was bad in his time, so.
I'm just saying, I think there's room for it if they want to do that, because if not, I'm really curious what these other chapters could be that aren't something.
I don't want to
here.
deny that there's technically room for it. It's just, I just don't see it happening. Like, it just feels like, okay, as far as, again, I'm always about the themes. I'm the themes guy. And the themes have said, okay, people who reach out and want to find connection with others, like Gojo and all that stuff, they're the ones who are in the right. And
come back to
they're
life.
the ones who find happiness.
They live forever, they never die.
Sukuna is not going to find happiness because he wholeheartedly rejected Yuji's genuine attempt to connect with him. And he could just change his mind at the last minute. It feels like the full chapter of him just hanging out with Yuji would have done that if it was going to happen, and then it didn't. So my bet is on no.
Counterpoint, I think Yuji's whole thing has been hope in the face of hopelessness. And it seems like there's no way Sukuna will ever turn from his evil ways, even though he's been in your little pocket dimension of where we're just going to hang out in the city I grew up in, and I'm going to let you kind of walk a mile in my shoes to see if we can bridge this gap. And when he's like, that isn't enough, and he's like, then I guess I've got to, become a cursed spirit and inhabit your body for the rest of time.
I'm too Kingdom Hearts pilled, thinking if they want to really do that type of thing, then your hero is going to go at all stops to try to be friends with the villain like Naruto.
I don't think there's a point where they're going to become
all
friends.
Depends on
like
how
if Yuji feels the need to do the thing, like if you suggest like, oh, I'm gonna have to inhabit your body now, then it'll be a forced thing. It's like Sukuna's not going to be happy about that if that happens.
What I see honestly more is he will put Sukuna back in in Yuji's body and be like, you are going to see me live my life and loving people and understand how much you missed out on.
Yeah, something like that.
It's going to be like, I'm keeping you alive, but like as my internal prisoner to see how happy I am. Despite your best efforts.
And then we're going to have the final chapter is going to be flash forward 60 years or whenever Yuji dies. And with his death, he takes Sukuna with him. And then they have an introspective moment when they're dying to meet up inside
At
like
the
they
station,
did.
at the train station.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'll
And
be like,
Fushigoro's there, and he'll be like, "I was in you too."
yeah. I think that's what's gonna happen. That's my chips on the table.
I could see that happening. I don't think that's not like the redemption that I was thinking of. So I could see something like that happen.
Well, Sukuna has to be in a body to exist in this world, and it's going to be Yuji's. I don't think they're gonna get rid of him entirely.
I think he's just gonna exist as fingers.
They're all gone.
Or you could just
tie
like
him up as a
No,
die.
not he's throwing them up.
Well, he hasn't digested
His
them yet. He
fingers
just had
can,
them like a day ago.
burn away to ash from inside his mouth.
Ooh, okay. What I like Parasite Syndrome's thing. What if the next chapter is a reverse? Yuji walks a mile in Sukuna's shoes in the domain, realizes he can't be saved, and kills him.
Well, like that. I was gonna say it kind of depends on how, like, the tone you read what Yuji said to him while he was in his domain, like near the end, where he like I can kill you, like was him going like a threat, like I can kill you, but I'm choosing not to let you talk. Or he did say it after Sukuna basically went, I'm not going to change. So he went, good. That means I can kill you. Like I'm allowed. I've been granted the right to murder you because you have chosen to not be good.
Maybe. I'm curious though. It has to fall somewhere on that coin, and I think
I wonder
it would go the other way of being a friend.
I wonder if because he's throwing them up and their whole plan was like, we still can't destroy them, whatever. If they're gonna go with their original plan of him slowly ingesting them, but he just dies of natural causes with the fingers or whatever. But he just coexists with the rest of his life with Sukuna.
That's what I think that'll be it probably.
He wants to die surrounded by friends, i.e. all of Sukuna's fingers in his tummy. his best buddy Sukuna.
And yeah, that's the latest chapter. Any other thing y'all wanted to put out there?
No, I think
Go
we
read some
already
random manga.
we already fully detailed exactly what's going to happen for the rest of the manga. So
Yeah, I do think we've predicted word for word the next couple chapters. So really, you don't even have to check it out. We already know the ending, and you've just been told it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Check in
spoilers for the rest.
next week when we go over how right we were.
Once again.
Yeah, we're going 2 for 2 with this.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
But actually, next week, are we doing the day?
I was gonna ask that. What do y'all think? Because I think Jujutsu is too hot to handle. We can't miss this week to week. I think we're going. It's literally only 4 more weeks, and the reason why I at least wanted to do this whole show was this conversation where we call each other stupid.
Well, what do you say? Like, how about the idea of just doing the day, and then last 30 minutes is dedicated to Jujutsu Kaisen? Kind of
Yeah, maybe something like
I'm
that.
down for that.
Okay.
I'm down to do like when we now have this as a checkup thing, and we check out those other series now.
Yeah, something like that could be fun.
Yeah, we will have to find a way to be a bit faster with our coverage of the big series covers, though.
I think we can do it though. I think we'll
figure something out at the moment for that. But yeah, I'm planning on reading to chapter 25. I haven't gotten there yet, but I've definitely started and made some progress through it. So let's shoot for 25.
What's the best means to read that online again, just for my benefit?
It is on Viz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the official way to do it.
I also have the literal book if you would like
The
them.
Physical
I have all of them. This is one that I went out and bought after reading it.
Look, we're gonna cover One Piece eventually. Should we make that? Should we just cover One Piece going into like this would be a good point. We're going into the next arc.
We need to get Kieran to read it, and it says like, oh, Kieran reads One Piece first time ever, completely blind, no idea what's gonna happen.
Look, we can get him to read it from the start, or chapter 100 or 1000.
Yeah, the start of it, 1050.
Yeah, when it gets good.
Wow, can't believe it only got good after 1,000
We can't pass up that
chapters.
clickbait where Kieran watches it for the first time, and it's like, I made my grandma and also Kieran watch One Piece for the first time.
I'm happy to
we
share a
can't pass
room
that
with
up.
such honor.
He's got and got English degree, so we can say college graduates review of One Piece.
Ooh.
That just call English teachers review, and that is not a lie. I did it for half a
there-
year.
yeah,
I can
and-
take that.
I mean, the thing is, like, that is already a clickbaity title that exists. I'm pretty sure.
My God,
Pro gamer reviews One Piece. Card game creator reviews One Piece.
Card game creator, English teacher.
Like for every new video, we call him something different. How about that?
Okay, sure. But yeah, that would be fun. I think
Skyline
you guys,
Chili employee.
Skyline, son of Skyline Chili, Polaris, former Grand Manager, former FYE manager. That would be really good. I have my FYE uniform somewhere still. I kept it.
Awesome. Yeah, you'd have to wear it for that episode.
Yeah, so we've got our plans for the next like 12 months of content then. Good.
Yeah, good. But I think it would be cool if y'all did cover like it for 20 to half an hour. That would be a good video and people would watch it and I don't have to be on it and we could do the other thing separately.
You could do that.
I'd be down.
Yeah.
Maybe
when something big happens and we've got like we know this will be a big conversation, it'll be important, we can do that.
Ben, it's almost like you're saying we couldn't talk for like 40 minutes on each chapter.
We could. We could. I'm certain we could. But it needs to be important to the layman, the people who don't know everything about One Piece.
Gotta get it out to the common folk.
Please, the people who are watching it are the people that would listen for 40 minutes.
That's true.
But yeah,
look, Loki's on the shoreline.
That's Jujutsu. That's Kagurabachi. I give them both a strong reedy. I'm over here loving everything. It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad the Jujutsu Kaisen's ending. I'll give this chapter a reedy.
I'm definitely reedy camp for both series right now. I think I'm like excited with Jujutsu Kaisen ending, but it's one of those like bittersweet things where I feel like I was a Johnny come lately where I kind of really came around to it while we were doing this show. And only in time for it to end.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like hey, I got in right before they closed the doors. And
we're
Kagurabachi is just amping up and seems real cool too.
Imagine how good season 3 is gonna look.
Dude, it's gonna be nuts.
And how fun it'll be to, for this final month to be able to be here speculating shit and going like, oh, what if this happens? What if next chapter, I hope all of us are wrong and something insane happens because it has continued to do that. And I'm excited to see.
I'd love being there for the end of a series. Like, man, whenever at the end of Naruto, when Sasuke's like, hey, actually, I'm gonna kill everybody. I was like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Fushiguro now after having seen Sukuna or something being like, actually, you know what? This world isn't worth saving now. I'm the villain.
Do that, pull him out, 3 chapters of a Fushiguro fight.
And then they both kick each other at the same time and both lose their legs.
They both lose their left and right leg respectively, and then it makes instead of a heart, it makes a butt.
Look, I learned a lot being inside Sukuna. His values align with mine.
He was right the whole time.
Maybe he was right the whole time.
Cool.
But yeah.
And then Yuta's like, I'm actually Kenjaku, and I put my head in Yuta's brain. You didn't realize it.
Grant, please. That would be so good. Because then Yuta would have all the things.
Then we merged all the cursed energy from Gojo into one being, which reincarnated Gojo.
Yes. You're talking.
All right, we need to stop creating all this great speculation that'll get people's hopes too high for the real ending. So
yeah, we need to stop giving Gege ideas.
Do you think Gege will do another manga after Jujutsu Kaisen?
Do you think he's going to do Jujutsu Kaisen?
I hope they do something because it seems like at the final end of it was taking a good amount of breaks to take care of themselves and stuff like that. I hope that doesn't burn them out too hard. They're young from what I know. You showed up because why was it like 24 or something stupid? Make me want to jump off a bridge. What did I do when I was 24? You already got a global sensation on your hands. I hope you do something else. But hey, if you want to coast on that, go for it.
I mentioned it in, I don't know if it was a different video, but I mentioned that ideally I want these manga artists to be able to just retire by doing what they want when they want without being pushed by a deadline.
Yeah.
Are you okay, Grant?
Sorry, I read Gege Akutami, born February 1992, and had to spit out my water.
Oh, okay. So no, they're my age. All right, that makes you feel a little better.
Actually, just a bit older than me. Okay.
I'm
gonna live forever.
Wild stuff. But yes, I say Jujutsu Kaisen, thumbs up. Kagurabachi, thumbs up.
Reedy.
It's all reedy to me.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Good times.